Hello, my name is Phil. I'm the new priest in charge of the Draycott and Lem Valley benefices. And what I wanted to do was produce a couple of videos to tell you a little bit about me, about what I'm like, and about my faith as well. So that I hope when you see me out and about in the parishes, you might feel able to pull me over and have a bit of a chat with me, knowing a bit more about me. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to put a couple of videos together where I tell you about different objects in my house and tell you what they show you about me and maybe how they touch a little bit on faith for me. So the objects I want to show you today are my shoes. These are quite old, manky trainers. And the reason they're old and manky is because they've been worn a lot. And the reason they've been worn a lot is they're really comfortable. I really struggle to find comfortable shoes. I don't think I can be alone in this. I try shoes on in the shoe shop and they're really comfortable. But as soon as I get them home and take the label off, they cease to be comfortable. I don't know what that is, and I don't think I can be alone in that. But interestingly, feet and shoes have played quite an interesting part in my faith journey. And to illustrate this, I'm just going to tell you one story, and I'm going to read you a Bible verse as well. So the story about shoes and feet took place a long time ago. When I left university, I thought God might be calling me to work for the church. So I thought I'd spend a year trying this out, and I volunteered for a scheme that placed me in a church in London for a year. And it was not a paid position that I was taking on, so I needed to fundraise to raise some money to pay my way through this year. And I remember my mum explaining this to my grandma, explained that I needed to raise money to be able to pay my way for that year working for the church. My grandma said quite dismissively, well, he'll look quite silly leading prayers with holes in his shoes. And that was a comment, it was just off the cuff, but it found its way back to me via my mother. And that was in my mind. And we were praying about finances and if God wanted me in this place, that finances would present themselves. And Weetabix, they produce Weetabix in Northamptonshire, very close to where I grew up. And Weetabix were taking on student workers that year. And I managed to get a job at Weetabix over the summer. And because it was night shift, so there's quite a large night shift bonus. So it paid quite well. I managed to earn enough in a couple of weeks over the summer to pay my way over that year in London. But the reason it makes me think of feet is that one of the perks of working in the factory at Weetabix is they give you a free pair of shoes for all the health and safety you need to have steel reinforced toe caps. So at the end of my time at Weetabix, I got a pretty new pair of shoes to take with me to London, and they were steel reinforced, so there was no chance of any holes forming in those shoes. And I just love that because it shows that God, not only does he provide, but he also has a sense of humour. So that's my story about faith and feet. And this is the Bible passage about faith and feet. It comes from Romans chapter 10, and it's verses 14 to 15. But how are they to call on the one whom they have not believed? And how are they to believe in one of whom they have never heard? And how are they to hear without someone to proclaim him? And how are they to proclaim him unless they are sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. I love that Bible passage. It's a passage that God really put on my heart. I feel like he gave it to me when I was asking him what I should be doing with my lives. And of course, there's the reference to feet at the end. I have not got the most attractive feet in the world, but these verses tell me that as unattractive as my feet may be, they're beautiful when I am telling people about Jesus. And that's a verse that God gave me when I asked him what to do with my life. Just before I went to Surbiton, actually, it was that verse that prompted me to investigate this church thing. So yeah, feet and shoes are a really important part of my faith journey. And if you see me on the road, I don't advise you to look at my feet, but do feel free to pull me to one side and have a chat to me and tell me a bit about your faith and your faith journey. So take care, God bless, and I will see you around.